question is, are you ready? Let me talk to you. I will give you a show like you have never, ever seen before. Why? Because I can.
What do you guys want to talk about?
I am that damn good.
I am the B-E-S-T.
And the color red in a world full of black and white. I am the eater of worlds. Yeah, if you're some man, acknowledge me. The champ is here. But to be the man, you gotta beat the man, and I'm saying, woo, right here. Hey, yo. The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to another episode of PCW Podcast Championship Wrestling. I am your host, Wayne, also known as Semi-Dry Chicken, and you are my peeps. And we are having a very special episode. We're not doing a pay-per-view. We're not covering predictions. We're not doing a post-review of a pay-per-view. We're not even doing an old pay-per-view. Why? It's because the holidays are right around the corner, and everybody's busy. Everybody's got shit to do. And I'm not going to make the PCW crew sit there and watch old pay-per-views or any other homework, I should say. It's like a PCW vacation. We're going to sit back and just shoot the shit. So let me bring in the commentators. Here we go. Dre, my right-hand man, what's up, bud?
Yo, what it do, PCW crew?
All right, dude. Well, you know, we decided to record on like an odd day. This is Friday. SmackDown's actually on right now. And normally I have it on the side, but I'm having some technical difficulties. So whatever happens on SmackDown, if something big happens, and if you guys are watching, let me know. You know, we'll stop the whole show, pump the brakes, breaking news, you know. Be my informants, be my ears, be my eyes. I have no idea what's going on in the SmackDown world. I'll probably find out afterwards on social media.
So far, the only thing that's happened is the Tribal Chief came out to open the show. Apparently, he has declared Solo his heir apparent and the next Tribal Chief in line, and much to Jimmy Uso's chagrin. And then Randy Orton music hit. And he started making his way to the ring, and they cut to commercial.
Wow. Of course. And that's the first, like, it's already been 12 minutes in a 2-hour show, and most of it's probably been walking. Just all entrance. But speaking of entrance, and just like Roman Reigns, you know, who's barely on the show, we're also bringing in our guy who's barely on the show, filling in for Doyle.
Step up, bring it. Somebody gon' get their ass kicked. Somebody gon' get their wheel split. Somebody gon' get their ass kicked. Somebody gon' get their wheel split. Beat 'em up, break a stack, beat 'em up, break a stack. Niggas need wild, how could I be scared of a man? I walk through this land like a runner's man, never can.
Finally! Look who's back, Dave!
Yes, what's going on?
Man, it's been a long time since you've been on. I know you're a busy man, a father of many children. You're always busy. So To get always have a quiet house. So you are currently recording in the trunk of a Cadillac. Is that true? Am I close?
That is lovely, But yeah,
Hey,
man. Oh,
we'll make the best of it. All right.
hell yeah. Sounds good, bro.
Luckily, this isn't an important episode at all. It's just shooting the shit. You know, we got really no agenda. Dave, did you know that we have a store on Pro Wrestling Tees?
I did not.
Man, jeez, where the hell have you been? Where the hell have you been, pal? Like, yeah,
right?
dude, we got our own store. We got shirts. I mean, we're already selling shirts. The original logo ones have been selling. We also have a DX version. We have a NWO version, and we have one if you're just a peep. You just want to get a plain old peep shirt. But more shirts definitely on the way, for sure. So Dave, I know you got a big family, man. So that's a lot of shirts you got to put in. A lot of I order them in bulk. Who don't rewash them, just buy a new one every time.
I'll definitely look into that, my man. I literally just came back from Vegas for work. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I heard you're on the road a lot. Too bad there's not like local wrestling in the area when you were in Vegas, right?
well,
Nice.
not really. But I went to. I basically just was watching everything from there. At least I got to watch the, Monday Night Raw and all that good stuff while I was out there. And I wanted to see if it was something out there because the guy that I went with out there, he always asked me about WWE. Because I honestly watch it at work sometimes, and the next morning I can't watch Raw at night. I got to be at work at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I have to watch everything from my freaking computer in the morning time. You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah, I'm the same way. Like my work schedule has changed, so the normal of staying up till 11 o'clock to watch Monday Night Raw, I just can't do it anymore. Like I gotta be up at like 3:30 in the morning. So a show that gets done at like 11 o'clock at night, I try, and it sucks because like I'll start watching it, and I'm like active in the Discord, and you can always tell when I fall asleep because I just stop responding, because I'll be like, oh man, you guys watching this match? And then all of a sudden, like, you don't hear nothing from me for like the next like 2 hours. It's because I passed out. But I always catch it on like Hulu, or I like, you spend 5 minutes on the toilet, on social media in the morning, and you'll catch up on everything, all the stuff. I saw that Maxine got harassed and toured by Rhea. I saw that, and I didn't even see the match, but I'm just gonna assume it was sloppy as hell.
It absolutely was. You can tell that Maxine is still very, very green in the ring.
Yeah.
They just had one. It wasn't really a long match at all, but there was one noteworthy botch where I guess Rhea was going for a power slam that Maxine was supposed to counter, and some people were saying that Rhea lost her grip when she went to go pick her up or something, but she tried to pick her up and they missed it, and she dropped her, and they went for it again, and it was countered into a Hurricane Rana from Maxine, but it just looked a total mess. So yeah, was not a great match at all, and not even Rhea could carry Maxine through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she kind of reminds me of Lana in the ring. How Lana was, remember? How she started out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like all show and no go, like just a really good looking eye candy to go with the wrestlers. Nice valet, a hot valet, and just sometimes it just doesn't work. Like with the skill, it's just not there. I mean, this is like the early, like the Attitude Era, where we could get like 90% of the roster is just all good-looking model women, but none of them wrestle worth a damn except 2 women. But luckily, we don't have that.
Well, honestly, I think that's one of the reasons that they started to get athletes now. You know what I mean? Like most of the people they brought in lately are some type of athlete. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like they have an athletic background now. So they're not just. I see all of the. What's the tournament called in NXT right now? Breakout Star.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
All of them, like if you looked at all their bios, they're all from some type of college or athletic background. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
They all played basketball, did track and field, or something.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that's where they go, unless they get these good-looking people who want to be managers, maybe. You know what I mean? Keep that in the background. That's cool, but I see where they're trying to go with the whole, having athletic background. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I agree. And to that point, really, does Maxine Dupree have to wrestle? I think
No.
the women's roster is deep enough to where not every woman on the roster has to be a wrestler. If they
Right.
have more, if their talents lie more in just personality and maybe on the mic and stuff, then just let them be a manager. Let them do that and let them just occasionally maybe get in the ring a la Stephanie McMahon or something like that, who nobody ever thought was an actual wrestler, but she was still perfectly fine as an authority figure or just an on-air personality. And if
Right.
that's more of Maxine's forte, then
Yeah.
she's just let her do that and don't try to force wrestling on her if it's not if that's not where her aptitude is.
Yeah.
All right.
You can
Now,
avoid having
let me ask you
sloppy
guys.
matches like that. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me ask you guys, Lana. What do you think was her peak? Like when I say Lana, what do you think her peak was? Was it as a wrestler, or was it being, Rusev's manager along with him going to WrestleMania in a tank against John Cena?
Yeah,
You know,
as Rusev's
that's her
manager.
peak. Yeah, that was her peak as a manager. It's like there's just some people just stay manager. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
she'll figure it out.
Mhm.
She's got a fair. She made the cut this year because we lost a lot of people this year, like the roster getting cut. And so she's lucky she's even there, along
Yeah,
with like
yeah.
Tozawa. And you know what is weird? Today I was thinking about it at work. I have a lot of me time at work to just like let my mind wander. So I'm just like thinking about all these wrestlers who have kind of like are still on the roster, but I haven't seen them in a long time, and they haven't gotten let go this year, which is surprising. Um, Tamina. I'm just gonna rattle off some names. Odyssey Jones. He got signed from NXT a while ago. He's a big man. I was excited to see him on the main roster. Apollo Crews, Ashante Adonis, Dexter Loomis, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, Omos, MVP, the OC, and most importantly, it's kind of weird this year, but we haven't gotten a lot of Brock Lesnar.
Nah, not yet.
Brock Lesnar's been gone for a while, and like I'm kind of like I could kind of see Brock. I mean, he kind of left after his feud with Cody, but I kind of could see Brock with something. I want to see Brock versus Gunther. That's what I want to see him back for.
A lot of those people are missing for various different reasons. Like somebody like you can't really compare somebody like Brock Lesnar to
yeah.
Like clearly Brock
Oh.
Lesnar's a featured attraction that they bring in when they need a pop in ratings or they need to give or they want to give somebody the rub or they need a featured program because you can almost guarantee Brock Lesnar's going to return next year around the time of the Rumble. Now Tamina, I don't know if she's just there for legacy reasons or maybe she does PR stuff for them or maybe she's helping down in the performance center training or what, because she's clearly not being used as an on-air as an active wrestler on the roster and hasn't been for quite some time. And somebody like Omos, who knows, again, he's more of a feature thing too, and without any real reason that he suffers from the same problem that every big guy suffers from. If you don't have any personality and you're not really getting over with the audience, then you're just a big guy. And the only real purpose you show is just to show up, maybe squash every now and then, and maybe get into a noteworthy feud every now and then. Other than that, there's really nothing. Omos doesn't really have a spot on the roster. There's nothing really for him to do. He'd probably be in the same lane as a Braun Strowman if it wasn't for the fact that Braun Strowman's out with a neck injury. And the audience kind of connects with Braun Strowman more, but There's still all that in that same vein of just people who don't have much of a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I always think? I always think like, why don't let's say it's us, and we're these people, these dry people who are on the mic, Ronda Rousey included. Why don't they ever take like their money and go take acting classes, man? Like why don't you like do everything you got to do? I'm pretty sure maybe some of them do, but
Oh,
for the most part,
there's
when you look,
definitely wrestlers who do.
yeah, but when you look at
Mhm.
like Divas, remember Total Divas? Remember how you used to see the background and they all talked about how Natty was that great on the mic and stuff like
Yeah,
that. She had other people trying to teach her. Like me myself, I would be taking my money because I want to be better, and I would go out there and I would take some acting classes.
yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like I would do that. Like that made The Rock better. That made all those people who are are being becoming more and more gifted. They're putting time in to make themselves better in that way, not
Sure.
counting wrestlers.
And for somebody who's still trying to prove themselves or still trying to make it, that
Yeah.
would be considered a worthwhile investment for them to, excuse me, invest in like acting classes or something to try to improve their abilities on the mic or try to improve their character performance. But somebody like Ronda Rousey was already a made man before she ever stepped foot in the WWE. So for her, she had no real reason to do so. She came in immediately booked as one of the top women wrestlers, stayed there pretty much the whole time. There was no reason for her to improve. She had no reason to, and that was evident in her second run that she had shown no improvement over her first run, which had gone over much better, even with her limitations. But when she came back the second time around, she showed no development, no improvement. If anything, she had regressed some, and that's just a clear sign of not putting the work in the time that she was off, and she had no reason to. She had no need to.
Well, you know who's a perfect example of like somebody who took acting classes and their character has actually improved since they've been in the company? Chelsea Green. She got let go before. She came back and out of the handful of people that Triple H brought back, including guys like Karrion Kross and oh god, what was that three person group with Top Dollar and then
Hit Row.
Hit Row and stuff back. But out of those groups of people he brought back that year, Chelsea Green has probably been one of the most successful ones. And like she has improved as a character because she takes acting classes and like I mean people are like, "Oh, I hate Chelsea Green. And she annoys the shit out of me every time she's on I see her on screen. I'm like, yeah, that's her job.
Yeah,
Like
she's doing her job right. Yeah, you can tell she's put the work in.
Yeah, there's a difference, like when like because even my girlfriend does it. Like there's certain characters, she's like, well, I don't like this person, they're annoying me, or like this person's a real dick. I'm like, yeah, that's their job. Like they're a heel, or they're supposed to be like a Karen, or an asshole type heel. Like they're doing their job, But then you got like guys like poor side note here, poor Bobby Lashley. This man got a nice stable going. Street Profits are with him. It might even get to a bigger stable down the road. We don't know. I'm really excited for these guys, but like they're supposed to be heels, but Bobby Lashley is like super babyface right now with the fans. Like that man's always getting scared, and it's
I
got two.
I can get to that in a second. Before I go in on that, though, just as a sidebar, on SmackDown right now,
Oh
in
yeah,
a match we've got that U.S. Number one contenders tournament they have going on. We currently have Grayson Waller in a match against NXT's Carmelo Hayes. Yes, Carmelo Hayes is getting some shine up there on the main roster, competing in this tournament.
I knew he was coming to that US. They were talking about that.
Yeah, they announced. I think Shawn Michaels had announced it on Twitter maybe like a week ago. So
Yeah, we didn't think I didn't know if he was going to come last week or this week.
yeah, that match is happening now. Curious to see how far Carmelo goes. I hope he wins this match and he gets to shine in more than just one match.
Yeah.
But something tells me that they're kind of more big, or they're bigger on Grayson Waller, and I feel like he's probably going to end up winning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Grayson Waller.
has a story in NXT right now to finish. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So he's in a deep storyline right now. So we're trying to see where that storyline is going in NXT. And I believe this is how they're going to let go of him from NXT by letting him. He's going to do his beef with his best friend and put his best friend over, and then he's going to go to the main roster after he puts his boy over. I think that's what he's trying to do right now.
I can't believe like
very much
guys
so.
like Bronson Reed is still in NXT because here's the thing: I was listening to our Slammy Awards from last year because I want to do another Slammy Awards at some point, whether it's like late, early January or that small window after Christmas. Either way, we'll get it in, we'll send it out, and you guys will enjoy it. But I'm listening to the old one, because it's gonna be our second annual and continuity and all that shit. But like, just listening to it, like some of the things we predicted, like it's crazy how a lot of it hasn't worked out. And there is oh my god, Jay, you have to go back and listen to it. There's a segment where we talk about CM Punk and coming back to the company, and you guys are just like, no, I don't think it's gonna happen. He's too much trouble. And I'm listening to it because I'm just like, oh, it could happen. And I'm just like thinking to myself, you son of a bitch. 1 year, like almost a year later, I'm like, you son of a bitch. If only like I placed some money on that kind of shit. But it is actually nice. We are at that point in this podcast where we can go back and listen to like maybe like 2-3 years worth of stuff, at some point. But right now it's like a year and a half. But we can go back and listen to 2 Survivor Series episodes now, and like War Games, and now we're gonna do another Slammies. It's just coming. We're looping around now. We're going, second lap, and I kind of like revisiting some old episodes like that. Dave's audio was way better. He wasn't in the trunk of a car. It was awesome. The good old days,
Yeah. We have a history. We have things that we can go back on and
yeah,
track our words and what we've said since then.
Oh yeah, like there's a rumor, but there once was a original episode never aired because of audio issues. But some say there's just 3 men just talking about wrestling to nobody, just having a good time, good practice, good drive run. It was a good drive run, but we had fun.
So back to what we were originally saying before we took that sidebar about Lashley and the Street Profits and this whole thing about how WWE is booking them. And I think I've talked about this in the Discord. I've talked about this on social media before, and I don't understand why they're trying to force a square peg into a round hole.
Yeah.
Because you could tell from the moment they got together, from the moment they even teased it, that the fans were cheering it. From the very beginning, they were all for it. They were like, the second they saw Bobby Lashley pull up in that limo and tell the Street Profits to get in, everybody was like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Let's do this.
Yep.
Because whether they're trying to deviate away from it or whatever they're trying to do, everybody knows. Everybody looks at them basically the same way as Hurt Business 2.0. That's basically, even if they're not that in officially, to a certain extent, that's how all the fans are looking at them, because fans never really got a chance to really appreciate Hurt Business in a live format. That was a clique that was running basically during the pandemic when they were doing the Thunderdome shows and all that. So we never really got to enjoy that faction, and we never really got to see them fully realize. And then they were just as fans were starting to return to arenas, they broke them up, seemingly out of nowhere for no fucking reason whatsoever. So fans have been clamoring for that, to see that type of faction come together again, or something similar to it, and get the legitimate run that people feel that they deserve. So when we see Street Profits, a tag team that's been over with the fans for a while, and Bobby Lashley, one of the top stars in the company, seemingly come together, yeah, everybody's going to get hella hype for that. People want to see that. People want to see them have a strong run. People want to see them become one of those top factions in the WWE, and people are cheering for it because they like both of them. They want to see them successful. And on another note, when the fuck have we ever had a all-black babyface faction in the WWE?
New Day?
Yeah, them eventually got over after being heels for the longest.
Mm-hmm.
And they are I guess they are a faction, but they're almost kind of more of a tag team.
Yeah.
Even though it's three of them, they're kind of almost more like a tag team. But like an actual clique, an actual faction with bona fide singles or tag team stars like that, we've never had that. We had the Nation of Domination, which were heels. And like I said, we've had, like you mentioned, we've had New Day, which is a faction / tag team, because pretty much their whole run has basically been tag team wrestling, other than Kofi's shining moment at Kofi Mania and Big E getting his brief run with the title.
You know what? You're right though. Like when you said how the Hurt Business, like, you know, their business got hurt during the pandemic. Like I think if it wasn't for the pandemic, I think they would have thrived better. Because like, dude, remember when they were when they took out Retribution? Like they had that whole Retribution thing, and then like, you know, I forget who it was. Like, was it like Kurt Angle or whoever the general manager was, got a hold of, like, oh, we're gonna hire somebody to handle it, and they maybe it was Adam Pearce, and then they had, you know, the Hurt Business come out, like, take out Retribution. I thought it was a badass moment. But like I would say, you know, during the pandemic, like, wrestlers like Bayley was another one who suffered from that. Like, she was like carrying the women's division during that time in the pandemic, holding the title. And I remember then she got injured as soon as fans came back. And oh my God, that sucks. And, you know, the biggest one, I think we'll all agree, is Drew McIntyre. The man won his first heavyweight title beating Brock Lesnar.
His WrestleMania moment happened in front of nobody.
God damn.
Yeah, sucks for him.
Why you're angry, Drew. I understand, but can't be taken out on everybody. You know, you can't just Claymore kicking the shit out of people, especially Jey Uso. I mean,
the people want to cheer for them. They want to see them. They want to see Bobby and the Profits get a push like what Bloodline has gotten, like what Judgment Day is getting. But WWE seems to want to force this heel thing on them, and fans are rejecting it. And now and because of that, they seems like they're just spinning wheels with no direction, and WWE doesn't seem to know what to do with them, because WWE wants to make them heels. Fans want to cheer them. And now they don't know what the fuck to do with them. And then they throw B-Fab in there for God knows what reason. And they ain't done nothing with that since. And that just seems more like it seems like somebody just was in the production meeting or in the creative meeting and said, hey, everybody seems to like that Hurt Business thing from a while back. Let's do that, but different. And then somebody was like, okay. And then no other thought was put into it. Like, that was the beginning and end of the creative process. And they've just been throwing shit at the wall since then.
Shame. I do have a question for the episode. Let me just play her bumper, and I'll read, because it's Andrea. Of course it's Andrea. Always writing into the show. Let me play her bumper here.
Would you like to answer a question right at this particular time? Would you like to do that?
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Can I ask a question, Macho Man? More questions. I'm sorry about that.
All right. Andrea asked, "Hey guys, I saw on a Instagram photo that Becky and Seth Rollins' contracts are up to expire in June. Do you guys think they'll re-sign or go somewhere else?" For me, that is easy. They'll resign.
Definitely going.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that they would ever leave.
Yeah.
They're very happy where they're at. I think they probably get paid very well, and the fact that they always get to be on the same show and they both are, main eventers of most pay-per-views. Yeah, I don't see them going anywhere anytime soon.
Hell no, they're not going anywhere. They're
Well,
both at the top of the biggest wrestling company in the world.
Yeah.
Why in God's name would they go anywhere else?
Hey, hon, as long as one of us are holding some gold, we're making good money, right?
Right. If anything, they're both due for, I don't know how WWE contracts work in comparison to other sports, but if they're anything remotely like other sports, they're both due for a raise.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, well, like from what I heard, how Seth was talking in interviews, he's going to soon be doing more movies and stuff like that. So after Seth drops his belt, we might not see Seth for a while. So he might be back to work because he's supposed to. Yeah, and Becky, and who knows, Becky probably got stuff for her league too. So
yeah,
they're probably going to be Seth's going to be branching out. This last character he's done has helped him, progress into people seeing him as a good actor. You know what I mean? So he's probably getting types of roles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's possible. That is
Yeah.
possible because he's got that role coming up in what Captain America movie, which
Yep.
we still have to see it to see if he's any good and what his potential has. I'm sure he may have made some a good impression possibly on some people in Hollywood, but even with them possibly pursuing other interests, that still don't mean they're gonna let them contracts expire. And WWE damn sure ain't about to let them contracts expire.
They ain't letting them. They're going to stay right there because that's where they listen. They know that WWE is the place to be, man. And if you want to make they ain't going to make the money they making or none of that other stuff anywhere else. They're not going to do that. And I think that the way Seth talks about WWE, he's a lifer, man. He's a lifer. He wants his legacy there. You know what I mean? That's where he wants it to be. And I think Becky is the same.
Sorry.
I don't think the man. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah. You know what though? Out of anybody, those two deserve like time off, like especially right after WrestleMania. Excuse me. Yeah, like they're workhorses, especially Seth being the champion as long as he's been. So whoever he loses it to, like for being the first world champion of that new title, he put some better lineage to it. He put some it was up to par, I still think, with what Roman has. Like I take that title serious now.
He gave it some stature. I still think the feuds were kind of, some of them were a bit lacking, but he did his part for legitimizing that title and making it mean something.
Yeah. Because a lot of us thought he would have been the guy that's the title that's going to get passed around a lot. That's what I thought this was going to be. This was going to be, every other pay-per-view we might see this title get dropped, get rotated out, fresh faces getting world title runs. Everybody's going to kind of get one and done and get like a WWE world title under their belt. No, that's not the case. Seth has beaten a lot of guys in front of him, ones that I think a lot of us probably thought that Seth might not walk out as champion. And we're rolling around to, the Rumble and WrestleMania season. So if anybody was interested, a lot of people who don't know, but CM Punk and Seth Rollins have fought before. And also CM Punk and Roman Reigns, and CM Punk and who used to be Dean Ambrose. So back in 2013 is when Punk feuded with the Shield. It was like that real sweet spot where it was right before he left, and the Shield was coming in fresh. I think at the time Dean Ambrose was like the United States champion. But do you guys remember that feud? Dre, do you remember that feud at all?
I was not watching during that time, so no.
Oh, okay. Dave, do you remember that?
Of course, man. Heck yeah.
So
That's right before Punk left, man.
yeah, it's
All
right
that-
before he left. I know there was a handicap match at a pay-per-view. It was Punk versus the entire Shield. But before that, Punk kind of broke them down individually. And I want to play this quick promo because I remembered it and I thought about it today. I was like, damn, like.
Hold on.
What's up?
Remember.
Yeah.
One point, Punk in the Shield. Remember?
You're breaking up.
At one point, hiring Shield.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I do recall that when they, rumor was going around that Punk, was the one who hired the Shield. Yeah, I do recall that. And that definitely wasn't the case. But yeah, let me play this promo real quick. Here we go.
Finish your thought, Punk. Finish your thought. What were you going to say? What's your big challenge? It better be a good one. You better give us a good reason not to end 2013 by ending you right now.
Cool down. Look, the three of you can beat any one man. I think we've established that in the past 365 days. And I'm not taking away anything from any of you as a unit. But when I said iron sharpens iron, I live to be the best. And I want to fight the best one-on-one. So I want to know who it's going to be, because out of one of you, out of the three of you, one of you is the best.
Oh, you want to do this again? You want to do it again? Let's do it right now. And this time, I promise, I'm not leaving this ring without taking a piece of you with me. Let's do this right now.
Hang on. Dean, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. I've already beaten you like half a dozen times. And what I'm saying is it wasn't easy, but I did it.
You think that's funny?
No, I don't think it's funny.
You
I
think
think
this
it's
is a
the
joke?
truth.
You think I'm a joke? You think you can talk to me like that?
I don't
Nobody's gonna
think
talk
you're
to me
a
like
joke,
that.
Dean
You can't
Ambrose.
talk to
I
me
just
like
think you're the weak link, and I want to find out who the strong one of the Shield is. Everybody says Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns. Look at me when I'm talking to you. Is it you? Are you number one in the Shield? Are you the man? Let's find out right here, right now.
You want to know who the best is?
Yeah.
You're looking at him. I'll fight you tonight. I'll fight you tonight. Let's do it.
It's you? Because all I ever hear anybody talk about is Roman Reigns.
You don't think I can take him? That's not it. I didn't mean it like that. His words. I'm just saying. I can take him tonight. Don't have your time. Let me take it tonight, all right? I want this. No bones on you, my friend.
Don't come out talking
I
about
can
you the
beat him.
best.
He calls himself the best in the world. I'm better than him. And I want to prove it tonight.
You're gonna step up and take him out.
Absolutely.
And spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, Seth does not win that match. So, yeah, go back and check it out on YouTube. Just check out, just put in Punk versus Seth Rollins, Punk versus Roman Reigns. You should do it now before these two cross paths now, because then it's gonna get severely buried on YouTube. You won't be able to find it.
Yeah.
It's been a while since they've touched, but just think about it, like how much like changed, like Seth Rollins. Like last time I also remember like CM Punk visiting NXT when Rollins was NXT champion and Punk was WWE champion. I remember that, and I was like, man, that'd be a hell of a match. I thought that'd be a pretty good match. But the level that Seth is at now, he's a totally different guy than when Punk left. Totally different guy. It's like, dude, I'm not in the Shield no more. I'm better. I'm the guy who cashed in on Roman Reigns. I'm the guy who beat Brock Lesnar, who beat you. Like Roman Reigns has a lot of fucking credit. He's not the same guy, when Punk was there too. So those two feuds going into the future, like I'm very excited about, because
Oh yeah. I mean,
like
we're talking 10 years have passed since that time. So
I know
obviously,
it's like
Punk is past. Punk is someone who can maybe still go in the ring. Really has to prove that he could still go in the ring.
yeah.
And most people would probably think that Punk is past his prime, whereas Seth Rollins is probably in his prime. So, which is a far cry from 2013, where Punk was. Most people would probably have seen Punk was in his prime, whereas Seth Rollins was still coming up, still have yet to prove himself.
He's still green.
Oh yeah, for sure. So CM Punk's first match is going to be against Dirty Dom on December 26th at a house show.
Oh.
December 26th at a house show.
Man, where's that house show?
But I'm about to say, it's not just any house show, though. It's the one at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's in Madison Square Garden?
Yeah. They're doing like a end of the year, like, I guess, extravaganza type show at Madison Square Garden. It is a house show, but I mean, it's more than just a house show, because CM Punk's first match against Dirty Dom. I think Cody Rhodes is taking on Shinsuke Nakamura in a bull rope match at that show. So
that's it.
I mean, it's a house show, but it's going to be probably like PLE quality in terms of the matches.
I have to check out the tickets.
Fascinating. I'm sure, like, because it's a house show, but I'm sure we'll get footage of it. It just sucks, like, it's not going to be like a televised thing. You think it would, like, maybe like a one-off. And then we're also getting the beginning of the year, beginning of January, we are getting Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins for the world title on Raw. So that'll be good. So how are you guys enjoying CM Punk's apology tour? Because that's what it kind of seems like it is. I never thought like this would be his character coming back. Like he's definitely like not doing the heel route, because that's what I thought he would be when he would come back, because he left a heel. But it's pretty much been like the apology tour. He's going everywhere. NXT to see wrestlers. He's going to Raw, seeing some guys backstage on SmackDown, and kind of bearing the hatchet, it seems like. And he's doing it like right on air with a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But because like, man, gotta go back and listen to that last year's Slammy Awards. But we talk about how bitter and how Punk left with left a bad taste in everybody's mouth, including the fans, not just people who work there. The fans too. Like we had this before with like Stone Cold. Like I think it was like 2002, where he just picked up his ball and just went home. And it's like, like what the fuck? Like, dude, I just bought your shirt. I'm like a huge fan. I'm going around giving everybody the middle finger, telling my boss, go fuck himself, because that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. I'm going around stunning people at school. And now you're going to quit? You're just going to quit like that, Stone Cold? It hurts. We've been through it before.
Now, I'm sitting there trying to think about it, though. Where was CM Punk at this point last year? Was he in AEW?
He was mostly...
Or was he still, like, at this point last year, was he still just, like, mostly out of wrestling?
Yeah, he was injured. He was injured. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then he
I
came.
think he may have been injured. Because I when he came back, I was happy for him when he came back. That to AEW, like he came back to wrestling, not just just anything. Came back to wrestling, so I was happy for him. I think I watched a handful of matches, like his first like 5 or whatever. I didn't order any pay-per-views, but whatever I could watch, I would watch. But I was just like more excited. Like, okay, well, hopefully we get to see him come to WWE one day. Like, there's some matches there I want to see more of. Like, yeah, there's some matches I want to see in AEW, but like, I'm more interested in seeing, Punk versus, I don't know, AJ Styles, Punk versus Seth Rollins again, and Roman Reigns, and you know, just so many possibilities, so many good matches, and so many good feuds. Oh man, you know what's a really juicy one? The idea of Kevin Owens and CM Punk.
I'm waiting for that one too.
I'm waiting. That one,
so-
you can put that motherfucker on the back burner, and you can let that thing cook on a slow burn. And that thing, no matter when you do it, is going to be a good payoff. You could wait till SummerSlam of next year. I don't care. I know it's on the back burner. I think that, oh, dude, it's such an awesome feud. But I think they're setting the foundation for a lot of feuds. Because I'm pretty sure when Punk came back, not only did they offer him like a boatload of money, but he probably was like, all right, like this is a list of like wrestlers I want to work with before I'm done. Like, so.
I'm sure, but at the same time, all of that is very much still TBD because I'm sure Punk has his list of people he would want to work with, which I'd imagine are some current stars and some up and comers that he probably wants to work with. But this all depends on how well this run goes, what plans they have for him in terms of is he going to be a regular full timer that we see on TV every week, or is he going to be used more as a featured attraction like Lesnar or Roman, where he pops in, has a feud, then leaves for a while? Is it going to be one of those type of things, or is he going to be, you know, obviously he signed with Raw, so that would lead us to believe that he's going to be a full timer, somebody that we see week in and week out, but that's still to be determined. And then there's always the prospect of injury, which with wrestlers, older wrestlers like him, which kind of hard to say or tough to say, but he's not as he's let's just face it, he's not a spring chicken anymore. So there's the prospect of injury is always going to be there, especially when he's demonstrated, that he is more injury prone, as we saw from his AEW run and the amount of time he missed in there just from injury. So,
yeah.
Well, I did hear that he signed a multi-million-dollar deal.
a multi-million-dollar deal. Yeah. So we know he's not going anywhere for a while.
Yeah, that's nice.
Just a matter of how much time is he going to be active.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I think he will, because I think like he knows that this is his last chance, and this is his Punk's last run. You know what I mean? So he's going to try. I think he's going to try to get so much done within a certain amount of time. You know what I mean? While the fire burns. You know what I mean? I think Punk's the best out of this run. I think we're going to see one of the best CM Punks, because he seems happy. You know what I mean? Everybody's happy he's back. You know what I mean? He's squashing beefs. This is the Punk that you want right here. You know what I mean? I don't think he's gonna. I think this is where he needs to be. These are the type of people he needs to be around, and right now, because in other places, let's face it, it wasn't. It was a bunch of young dudes. You know what I mean? I know he used to go in there teaching and thinking people were going to follow him and stuff like that, helping the younger guys, but that's not how it was. You know what I mean? Those young guys over there, they do their thing, they do it how they want. But, you know what I mean? They're both Tony Khan. They got more freedom over there, But I think coming here, Punk gets to be back around guys like Randy Orton, all these dudes like Cody's here. You know what I mean? Like just guys that are like him on some of the same level as him. You know. So he said he would come back if matches would mean something, and he has all these matches that could mean something right now. It's
Yeah.
because all the people that he left behind are on his level now. So now he has to prove that he's the best by going through the best. So this is going to be a crazy, crazy run, and I can't wait to see it. I just hope I hope it pans out well.
Yeah, but that's why I bring up the possibility of injury, just
Yeah.
because of that.
Oh, yeah.
The very things that you bringing up, the fact that he may feel like he has to prove something, or that he's so much that he wants to do, and he tries to do too much of it at once, or he tries to go after it all at the same time at once, and just try to run this gauntlet of like, I want to work with this star, then that star, then this star, then that star, and jump from one star to the next, and all these feuds, and then boom, next he's injured, and now he's out for a few months, and you know
I
he
also
has to
think
slow down. Me personally, if it was me, I think he would be best used as a featured attraction. I
Yeah.
think it'd be better if he's brought in for a high profile feud, and then leave him off TV for a few weeks. Not to let people not. That's how you slow burn it, and you keep from burning out too fast. Because right now we're still in the honeymoon phase. Everybody loves him. Everybody's happy to see him. He's getting massive pops every time he shows up, and we're still basically building to his first televised match, and whenever that's going to happen. But and whatever feud that's going to be that he's in with, which we don't know if that's going to be Seth Rollins or not. They've just teased it. The only thing that we know definitively as far as television for CM Punk is that he's going to be in the Rumble, and he's teased the prospect of going after Seth Rollins should he win the Rumble. But there's still plenty of feuding and stuff to happen between now and then. So, or at least one noteworthy feud to happen between now and then. So we still got to see what he can actually do in the ring. Because if he has which I'd imagine is part of the reason why they're having him have this match with Dom in a house show, just so he can kind of shake off the ring rust. They can get a sense of where he's at, what he can do, put him in the ring with somebody who's a good worker and who he can look good against, and then they'll have a better sense of, okay, what can he do in the ring, what he can't do, how does he feel? Let him get his feet wet, basically back in the WWE style of wrestling, and they can go from there. And also, like I said, a match like the Rumble is also a match where he doesn't have to do all the work. I'm sure he's going to have a strong showing in the Rumble, but he'll also be able to pace himself and, share that workload with, 6, 7, 8 other people in the ring at a time until it probably comes down to, my guess is he's one of the final 4, which would probably be like him, Gunther, Cody, and somebody else, like, I don't know, Jey Uso or somebody. LA Knight or Jey Uso or somebody. So,
man. Could you imagine if Cody threw Punk out? It was down to them too. Can you imagine like the heat that Cody would probably get throwing Punk out, or vice versa? Punk out. So you're gonna have a third party, just a throwaway, like what big guy could you put in the final 4?
Gunther.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect, right there.
You can almost guarantee Gunther will be one of the final 4,
if not both. Yeah.
Because Gunther and Cody were the last 2 last year, so you can almost guarantee, and they both ain't took a step back since then, so you can almost guarantee that they'll be in the final 4 this year.
Man, yeah, Gunther eliminates one of them, or like eliminates LA Knight, or oh man, dude, I'm so excited for the Rumble. Like every year, I'm excited. This year, I think Attitude Era wrestler wise, I was thinking about it. Recently re-signed Kevin Shamrock. What the hell chances do you think there are of Kevin Shamrock appearing in the 2024 Royal Rumble?
I don't know. I don't know what type of physical condition Ken Shamrock's in, but if he's in any type of decent condition, I can see him making one of those, surprise retro appearances in the Rumble. I can see it happening.
Dave, is Kevin Shamrock a brittle old man, or do you think he could still go for a Royal Rumble appearance?
Man, when it comes to somebody like King Shamrock, I mean, it's hard to say what he's not going to do because he was always so great at what he does. You know what I mean? Like King Shamrock is excellent, man. When it comes to, so I think it'll be one of those. He'll just come in the Rumble. He's just there to, you know what I mean? Maybe do a little Shamrock stuff, make go crazy a little bit, and he'll get kicked out of the ring. That's basically all he's going to have to do is take a couple bumps, and he's out of the ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Basically, kind of like what he did. You know, so I don't see him being in there too long, or like that. It's just a one-off, and he's going to come in. He probably just wants to do it. This is probably his chance before maybe getting into the Hall of Fame or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That's probably what, if he deserves it. They'll probably give it to him before he. Well, hopefully they give it to him before he passes away, because this is what they need. These guys, they flowers before they pass away. You know what I mean? Because he deserves it. And I think it's going to be one of those. That he's bringing them in. They're about to acknowledge him.
Kid Shamrock, 59 right now. I didn't know. He's only like 6'1", 212 pounds. He's not as big as I thought he was. I thought he was a lot larger. Huh.
He's still a mean looking.
Oh yeah, for sure. I still, that that'd been cool. Ken Shamrock and like Brock Lesnar in his prime, like that would have been a pretty good match.
Mm-hmm.
I think they there was at one point he was going to be offered the WWF title, and then he left.
He went back to the.
Yeah, that's another guy who just never held the main title. Who probably had a decent run, a short one, but.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's basically what's going down, man. It would be good to see Shamrock out there, and I wouldn't be surprised if they use him behind, to help out the younger generation. I wouldn't get signed and he becomes ambassador, all that good stuff. I would love to see him. I would love to see Ken Shamrock come out as a mentor to Gable, Chad Gable. You know what I mean? And make Gable, because Gable is awesome. I'm sorry.
He's awesome. What was that sound you made, Dre? What's going on?
Yeah, I think we expected a little too much out of Ken Shamrock. I mean, he could probably be one. I don't see him as being a trainer, because let's be real, Ken Shamrock was just okay as a wrestler. And if we're looking for somebody to be training the next generation, I want somebody who was a great wrestler training the next generation. I don't want somebody who was just okay. Like Ken Shamrock was a good featured attraction, but if we're talking about training, no, I'd rather have somebody who could actually go in the ring, who was an actual good wrestler, like Fit Finley type or a Lance Storm type. Them the people I want training my wrestlers, not Ken Shamrock. Ken Shamrock was great for MMA, but he was not that great as a wrestler. He was just okay. He can maybe have a role behind the scene as like maybe for like health and wellness, because I'm pretty sure he's in great shape for his age, and for that part he can have a good role. But yeah, I'm not expecting too much out of a Ken Shamrock. And
so,
again, like he'll show up in the Rumble, he'll have a nice good moment, he'll get that good retro pop, and he'll probably be in there for all of like 2 or 3 minutes before he gets tossed over the rope. Basically similar to what we got from Booker T last year.
Oh man, this is perfect time to use this bumper.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
All right, I'm afraid I've got some bad news, just like Wade Barrett said.
I would temper my expectations about this thing with Ken Shamrock re-signing with WWE. Like I said, maybe something, maybe a little bit. I don't know what his interests are, but as far as wrestling goes, like I said, maybe some training, health and wellness, fitness, and that stuff. Sure. Training actual wrestling, nah. I think there's better talent that can do that.
Got some breaking news, fellas. Liv Morgan just got arrested.
All right, I gotta go, y'all. Gotta go bail my baby out.
Yeah. Liv Morgan was arrested yesterday at Sumter County, Florida, after a traffic stop. Morgan was arrested for possession of marijuana, but not more than 20 grams, and possession of drugs, possibly synthetic cannabinoid. What?
Oh, she got a weed charge. That ain't shit.
Morgan was already bonded out. Oh yeah, dude. Like, what a stupid fucking thing to be arrested for, and for them to like make it like breaking news. Like, she was arrested for having something that's legal in most of the country.
Yeah,
Like,
gotta get them clicks.
hey, but you know what though? Yeah, cool. She smokes weed. Like hanging out with Matt Riddle and Randy Orton.
Yeah, did you think she didn't?
Well, no, it's just kind of sometimes it's nice to know certain wrestlers who do, and like what I never like knowing is what professional wrestlers smoke cigarettes. I kind of like never wanted to picture a professional wrestler smoking cigarettes because it just I don't know, it just was like a bad image. I'm like, dude, don't like you're an athlete, like
Yeah, finding out a wrestler smokes cigarettes to me is more surprising than finding out they smoke weed.
yeah, and yeah, I just don't, especially if it's like a female wrestler too. Um, you guys remember back when Dave, you might remember this when R-Truth was a heel, right? I think he was a heel with like the Miz. This may be around that time. Do you remember when he would like take cigarettes from like people in the front row and like light them and smoke them in the arena?
Mm-hmm.
R-Truth did that. Goofy ass R-Truth. R-Truth was a heel for a hot minute. That man went toe to toe with The Rock and John Cena at a Survivor Series. Like, and he's the most. I think he's like 54-time 24/7 champion. Like, props to R-Truth.
I wouldn't be surprised if R-Truth used to smoke a pack of this. I wouldn't be.
Yeah. Ugh. Gross.
Probably more of them smoke than we know, than we realize.
Yeah. So last year at our Slammy Awards, we discussed. Oh my God, how time has passed. We discussed how Vince sold the company and we were going to see less of Vince McMahon. Oh my God! Like let me just laugh it up. You know, the seeing less of him. Well, news recently broke that Vince himself said he is not going anywhere. Pretty much, we're gonna get Vince until he is a corpse. I guess.
But they still got involved in the activity. You know what I mean? Beaver and all of them, they already talked to him about it.
Oh yeah.
He could say he could say he's going to be here. He could be there, but
but like, you think this man had like all these sexual allegations against him last year, and just all this shit for him, like just stirring up shit with this guy, right? And he sold his company for billions, and still gets to work for them. Like, he doesn't have as much power as he used to, but the man is still, his foot's still in the door. The man can still swipe his security pass and go places where most can't. Like, that's a pretty fucking sweet deal.
Sure. He has a bunch of money, but he has very, very little power now compared to what he has. Because he just sold another. Didn't he just sell another chunk of his shares or what he had?
Yeah, he did.
And Endeavor's, there's been rumored for a while that they're clearly trying to, or TKO is clearly trying to move him out because I don't know how the fuck they didn't see this beforehand. He's a damn liability.
Yeah, well, hell,
like
even
they
walking
made
in
the
the
deal and then realized, oh shit, he's stuff realer than we thought.
I think they had to put that thing.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? They waited till they got in, and they put the hammer down. They were be able to do that they part.
Yeah, he has very little power now as in terms of the company itself. Like he has a position. I don't even know if he still has the same position that he had beforehand. I think they quietly removed him from that position. I think is when he sold some of the shares that he has. So he's just like, he can sit there and say that I'm gonna be around until I croak, but he has very little say in that anymore since he sold the company.
Yeah. Well, I also read You know who else isn't doing so hot is AEW or is up to they were up to lose $34 million this year. I saw that post today. I was like, oh shit, that's a lot of fucking money. It's a lot of money to lose. I don't know. And I heard AEW's having trouble also getting a new TV deal signed. So, I don't know. Is the glory of AEW just running out? Is this company running out of gas a lot faster than we thought it was going to be? Now, I really think guys like Chris Jericho, the Hardy Boys, Keith Lee, Aleister Black. I believe there's guys who were there who were probably looking at the way things have been going with Cody Rhodes and CM Punk and keeping their eye on Jade Cargill, like just seeing how they handle, either people coming back who had bad blood or just new people in general from AEW. Like, I'm hoping that, I was thinking about with Jericho, man, Jericho's probably been looking and seeing how Punk's handling this, and damn, maybe I should come back too for one last run. Because honestly, I kind of would love to see Jericho retire in WWE. I would have liked the same thing with the Hardys, but a lot of these guys are tied up into long contracts. But AEW is just not, I don't know, just not looking too good. Maybe it's just been a bad year. Maybe it's just me. Maybe next year will be better. So, but we live in a world where the Hardy Boys and Edge and Christian are on a different show, and we now have Cody Rhodes and CM Punk back in the WWE. Crazy. So
Yeah, I would not, for any AEW haters out there, which I'm not one, and I don't think anybody here is one, I would not bet money on AEW's days being numbered, because people are thinking that it's not looking good for them with WB Discovery, given that apparently Warner Brothers Discovery has shown some renewed interest in trying to acquire WWE.
yeah,
But at the same time, even if that does fall apart, or if that does go that route, and AEW finds themselves ending their relationship with Warner Brother Discovery, there's going to be somebody out there who's going to want to pick it back up, who's going to want to pick up AEW programming. I don't think they would struggle too hard to find another home, because one, there's a premium for content out there right now in terms of everybody's wanting to snatch up whatever they can. And one of the unique things that professional wrestling has over other content is that it's always new. It's not a seasonal show. It runs pretty much 52 weeks a year. You always have a new episode, and it targets that prime demographic that a lot of or a lot of companies go after, which is that 18 to 49 demographic, or 18 to 39, whichever one it is. But that young demographic, professional wrestling targets that specifically and does well with that demographic. So just those two things alone is going to make AEW programming a sought after commodity. Should Warner Brothers Discovery not move forward or continue on with AEW, somebody's going to pick them up. The only question is how much will somebody pay for it, and will they fork up enough cash for AEW to allow AEW to become profitable? Because, like you said, they're slated to lose what, $36 million or $1 billion this year.
34 million, yeah.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money. Still, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's still for a company of that size. Yeah, $34 million in lost revenue is not a small chunk.
Yeah.
So they need to get back in the red, or in the black, whatever one the term it is. They need to get back profitable, and to a certain extent, depending on the deals that WWE strikes, it's not impossible to think that AEW might be able to strike a favorable deal as well. If, almost like how you see in other sports where, one person signs for a huge contract and then that kind of sets the market for other people who sign contracts. Now, that's not to say that AEW could sign a deal similar to what WWE gets, not at all, because they're just not in WWE's league, despite what people may hope for. But they might be able to strike a bigger deal than what they would normally get if WWE hits it out the park with whatever contract they get or whoever they decide to sign with for Raw. So yeah, I wouldn't count AEW's numbers or count their days yet or think that they're finished. I think they still got plenty of life left in them and still long ways from being gone. I think they'll be just fine.
Yeah, so they kind of it sucks. It sucks right now because I see that they took a shot with it looked like Kenny Omega's out indefinitely, and we don't how long. Yeah. So he's in the hospital right now. I don't know what's going on. I just seen the headline for it. So, but he's saying that he's out indefinitely. So
he's out indefinitely. He's been diagnosed with some condition. I saw it a moment ago, but I didn't catch the name of it. But either way, I know he is one of their top stars and all, but they got other people out there that they can use.
They signed Willow Spree. He's coming next year. So he, after his New Japan contract up, he's going to be straight. He's going to be all elite.
Mm-hmm.
So they got him. They got some stuff going on, man. They just got to figure it all out. That's all about it.
Yeah, like I said, they'll be fine. They have the talent. They have a roster. They just what they really need more than anything is just some better damn booking.
Better writers, better booking.
Yeah, they just need better writing just to put out a better product and not just going for shock value in matches and stuff like that. Like tell some actual compelling stories. Build up people on your roster. And not just like you said, not just go for just shock value matches and spot fest and see how wild and crazy we can do. Like that shit is best used sparingly. Stop trying to be 2023 ECW or whatever with these matches.
Yeah.
But you see, the thing about it is like the audience is different. So right now, Tony Khan panders to the old school, like just wrestling. You know what I mean? Not entertainment. So the entertainment part that they're holding back on because they want more wrestling. And you got guys like Dean Ambrose who said wrestling. And you got this guy wrestling. You know what I mean? That they're there because they want to wrestle. So when it comes down to like making the storylines and all this other kind of craziness, like right now, I don't know if Nick Khan is not bringing in great writers or like, because he has the money, he can easily go get some movie writers or some top writers come in there and help out with stuff right now. He has the money, bro. So I don't, but I don't know if he is not taking that leap because he wants it to be seen as like we are wrestlers here. You know what I mean? And he doesn't want to take away that part of his because you don't see when you look in their crowd, there's not a lot of kids. You know what I mean? Like the WWE is mixed. When you look in the crowd, there's kids, there's old people, there's young people. You know what I mean? It's a mix of everybody. When you look at an AEW crowd, you mostly see older guys. You know what I mean?
That hardcore wrestling fan is what they have.
Wrestling like ECW, like you see those people out there because they're out there, they're cursing, they're doing their thing and all that. You know what I mean? Because these are the people that missed the Attitude Era. You know what I mean? So that's who he panders to. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to just say, all right, let's change over and be more like WWE because then are you going to lose those people or but would you be mad losing those people and gaining more people?
Yeah, but nobody's saying that they should be more like WWE. We're just saying that they need to have more storylines and not just rely on the same gimmicky kind of things. Like you can have storylines without being WWE. I mean, WCW back in the day was more wrestling focused than the old WWF product of the 80s. Like that was the dynamic that existed between WCW and WWF back in like the late 80s and 90s. WCW was more wrestling focused, but they still had room for storylines and stuff, and still had decent writing. And you can still do that in AEW and still put on a good wrestling product in the ring and just have compelling storylines to go with it, as opposed to just relying on just the wrestling and then all this shock value content in the ring.
Yeah. I think,
and then also building up some people on your roster and not just having this bloated roster and bunch of people just wasting away, not doing anything. Like you sign these people and think they're going to be a big deal, and nothing comes about from them. Remember when everybody thought Keith Lee was going to be a big deal going to AEW? Look how that worked out.
We were wrong.
I got it wrong.
Yeah.
I thought he was. I knew he was better with WWE. I knew the WWE would like make him look better than he does now. Like I didn't think he was going to be a big deal when he came to AEW.
But a lot of people thought that he was going to be better off in AEW than he was in WWE because WWE was underutilizing him for the talent that he had and what he could do in the ring. It seemed like WWE wasn't taking advantage of that. So when he went to AEW, a lot of people thought like, okay, this is going to be his chance to shine. This is going to be his chance to showcase what he can really do and become a star. And instead, he's just a guy lost in the sauce on the roster.
Hell yeah.
I feel like I don't believe that with WWE though. I feel like they pushed him pretty fast. Like it's still people in NXT that still ain't get pushed yet. I feel like he got pushed. He got pushed fast. He got what? He
pushed
got
where?
Well, he got
his shining moment was a stare down with Brock Lesnar in the Rumble, and that was it.
Man, before he got sick. That wasn't WWE's problem.
Yeah, it was COVID. He got COVID pretty bad.
And he was sick for the longest time. They know him. They know him. So they know that, he told us that he's sick. He didn't even tell WWE what was going on, honestly. And then he felt ill. You know what I mean? WWE felt betrayed a little bit because he didn't tell him what was going on. But he was out for a while, bro, and they were pushing him. They was doing those little things with Brock and everything because they wanted you to see this is what the future could be like. You know what I mean? He wasn't there yet. But
they brought him back as Bobcat fucking Keith Lee.
Dude, when they've ruined his character when they brought him back. They call him the Bearcat.
Bearcat. That's my point.
They Bearcat the motherfucker, and then the worst thing that you could have done for him is take away his music. His music was so good. That's
the point I'm making. Like, even with all that stuff that he did, even with everything with the COVID and all that stuff that he did, they still had an opportunity if they had really wanted to utilize him and make something out of him, and they didn't.
Dude, they dropped the ball hard.
Dumb as fucking gimmick. Completely damn near stripped him of everything that people had enjoyed about him, everything that people cared about that made him compelling and interesting, and completely stripped that of him. So when he left, people thought that, and went to AEW, people thought, okay, now he has a chance to shine.
Yeah.
Now that what a WWE didn't do with him, AEW will. And it turns out that's not the case.
Now,
the only thing if you think about AEW's roster, outside of people who are already made men, who on their roster have they really built up? Like who's been in AEW that was kind of I won't say a nobody, but not a noteworthy name that has become a noteworthy name in AEW. I mean, you could probably say maybe MJF. I don't know a lot of his career prior to AEW.
Oh, nothing prior.
So I would say maybe MJF, and you could see maybe Swerve Strickland appears to be on his way. Maybe the next one to become a major star. But outside of them two, who else?
Yeah.
Like AEW is kind of low key making the same mistakes that WCW did in the late 90s and not building up their own internal roster and creating their own stars and kind of relying a little bit too much on other people's pre-existing star power.
Yeah, because
Doyle just dropped in the Discord that Liv Morgan got arrested. Well, guess what, Doyle? We already covered it, pal. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're talking because you got Tony Khan. Tony Khan's just a fucking. He's not like, to me, a boss that turned this empire more of a man, and he's listening to, and you got what? He got people that's saying they helped start it, so they feel like they're. You got the Young Bucks. They probably got something to say. You know what I mean? They always want to win. They always want to be in the spotlight. You got all the Indians, all the Chiefs that's trying to stay on the top. You know what I mean? Instead of bring everybody up with them. So I don't know how their system work over there really, but they got too many Chiefs over there and too many guys that I feel like they just want to do whatever they want. They think they're good where they're at right now. They satisfied with where they're at and how they're feeling because they're on TV every week now. You know what I mean? Fuck the indie shit. They on TV every week. They doing this. They making money, but not WWE money, but they making money. You know what I mean? So they probably a little, stuck in their ways. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think they need to have some big changes. I think Tony Khan needs to put his damn foot down for one, and stop being all fucking timid on the mic, like he's looking like he, like he's coming on there. One of them kids that's asking for money because he ain't got no food. He just be looking timid all the time. And all the time you see Tony Khan, he look like he's scared or timid. And
he's a small man.
I don't see. It's a big difference between everybody talk about Vince, but I don't give a fuck. Vince did a lot while he was relevant. You know what I mean? So he did things we didn't like, and he did a lot of things we did like. So he ain't no damn fool. You know what I mean? You look at Vince McMahon, he fucking shit, and he put it out of his ass. There was nobody else. Tony needs to get to that point, still have respect, but he needs to get to a point where he's like, I need to grow this thing. You know what I mean? Everybody want to say, oh, you don't want to be like Vince. You don't want to be okay. Don't be like Vince, motherfucker. Be like Tony Khan, or get some balls. You know what I mean? Take your company to the next level, and you're gonna need to do that. You can't do that just fucking doing the same old thing all the time. Every night somebody got to bleed. Every night it's a fucking triple fucking flip that everybody's doing the same fucking flip outside of the ring. You know what I mean? Onto 20 people. You know what I mean? Like I'm just saying, like it's up to him. It's up to him.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think the problem is Tony Khan is too much of a fan and not enough of a boss and a leader.
Yeah,
like it's basically like if you gave one of us, or I can say one of us specifically, but like a wrestling fan, a fuck ton of money and said, here's a company.
Yep.
That's like he's more like a kid with toys than he is a leader in an actual wrestling line. He didn't come up in the business like Vince did. Vince came up Vince is a product of wrestling. He is very much just as much professional wrestling as anybody actually in that ring performing. He came up in the business. He is the business. He lives it, breathes it. It's in his blood, for better or worse. That is what Vince is. He has that wrestling mind. Tony Khan just got a fuck ton of money and is a fan and said, I'm gonna go, and said, watch this, and made himself a wrestling company. And he doesn't have, he thinks he has some of the wrestling minds around him, but I don't know if he has the best wrestling minds around him to really put out the best product. Like, obviously he's not the one sitting there writing the storylines every week. He's doing it with the other people. And I think he just needs a better, either a more diverse room or a greater array of wrestling minds or something to help improve the product. Because now, because it seems like it's as it is now, it's just a bunch of anti WWE in the room,
Yeah.
and everybody's just like, whatever we gonna do, as whatever WWE's doing, we not doing it. If we see them do that, then it's off the books.
Yeah.
And we'll do anything on the opposite to be the opposite of them, or to try to one up them in the most extreme way possible. And that's good for being niche, and that's good for getting yourself somewhat of a following, which let's not front, like AEW does have a following and they have a very die-hard fan base. But that's only going to get you so far. You're only going to be able to grow so much. At some point, you're going to have to, as much as you may hate it or dislike it, you're going to have to look at WWE and be like, okay, some of that shit they doing over there kind of working. Maybe having us a John Cena type ain't half bad.
You know what I would love to see? Like I would love to see them actually do some old school stuff when it comes to like maybe, if MJF was to lose the belt to Samoa Joe Joe's a bad motherfucker. Why don't he, have a storyline with Tony Khan? Get Tony Khan out there. Get the Authority, Tony Khan out there. You know what I mean? Let him rough up Tony Khan. You know what I mean? Like, get a good storyline going with Tony Khan in it. You know what I'm saying? Get that out of the way. And then maybe Tony Khan can get himself a stand-in. You know what I mean? To take over the show to, just to spark things up. Some old school wrestler who has charisma to spark things up. You know what I mean? Get them out there. Like they got to, just little storylines and still keep the wrestling going. Because I love AEW wrestling. Don't get me wrong. I love to watch the wrestling. They have some awesome matches sometimes, So it's the matches are great, but sometimes the put together matches don't make sense. So it's like you won't even have a storyline. Then it's just like, we're gonna fight. Oh, there's no build up to there was no a lot of good build ups to Daniel Bryanson against Kenny Omega, or when CM Punk was there, him going against this person. Like the build up wasn't there. Like they just weren't there. It was just a fight and it was over.
Yeah.
What you get with AEW.
There's no real story.
No, yeah, but that comes down to having better writers in the room, or having, which they clearly don't appear to have right now. They're just booking for the match and not booking to tell story.
Yeah, exactly. And I know they're trying to get all these matches that we couldn't get in WWE. Like, hurry up and do it before they leave and go to WWE and WWE gets it. So they're having all these crazy matches that could have been built up to be great matches, my man. You know what I mean? And it's just sad to see a little sometimes, because it's just like, man, there was no build up to this match. Imagine if this match was on WWE. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine if this was on WWE. They would have took their time with this, and they would have got it right. Hopefully, you know what I mean? Like, but that's what you get with AEW, Just here for great matches, but then when all the great matches are all used up, what you got?
Nothing.
You know what I'm saying?
Dude.
All
Nothing.
And when you done fought Daniel Bryanson against everybody, when you done fought Kenny Omega against everybody, come on, think about this. There are still wrestlers, big time wrestlers, that we were just now, after years and years, seeing them fight for the first time in WWE. And they've been in the same goddamn promotion for how long? You know what I'm saying? But they found a way to swerve and not have those two wrestlers bury each other and fight each other until the moment was right. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't think about all these little things that go on. They just want. But sometimes you got to think about the long run and the big picture of some of these matches. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's just the difference. And
that's the difference between somebody like a Vince McMahon or a Triple H, who came up in the business and have that wrestling mind, versus Tony Khan, who doesn't.
Exactly. Triple H is doing his thing, man. Like, he's doing his thing. he got me interested. Like I sit here, I watch the whole show. I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? It's getting good, again. You know what I mean?
And Triple H ain't perfect though.
No, he ain't.
He ain't perfect. That was honestly that was a subject that I wanted to bring up at some point here. That
no,
now that
just
we kind of
go ahead, bring it up. Here, we'll take a look. We'll segue. All right, go ahead, bring it up. Let's do it. Let's break it up.
I'm gonna say just now that we are kind of let's see what about a year and a half into Triple H's run as CCO and running this thing and making decisions and being the head writer or in charge of the creative content of WWE. Now we have a better sense of what Triple H is good at and where he's not so good. And I think there are a number of things that obviously Triple H, I think overall has been a general, in a broad sense, has been a plus for WWE as the chief creative officer. But there's also a number of areas where he can definitely improve. I think one of those most noteworthy things that he's done that's better is that is giving wrestlers more freedom on the mic, allowing them to be more of themselves in their promos and have more freedom and not be so rigid as how Vince was, where he basically told them, go out there, say this, and don't deviate from the script. Aside from a few people who maybe had that privilege, and allowing Michael Cole to be better. I mean, to be freer on the mic and not being constantly fed talking points by Vince. I think that's greatly helped Michael Cole in his mic work. Another thing I think Triple H has done well is showcasing more talent. We're seeing a lot of wrestlers that probably would have never seen any type of screen time under Vince McMahon. However, at the same time, while that is the good part of Triple H, I think the bad part is that he's showcasing talent, but he's not building anybody. Mm-hmm. Because if you think about it, since Triple H has come in, who has really risen up to become a top star in Triple H's era? Gunther's probably it.
But his prized possession. Well,
but at the same time, didn't Gunther become IC champion while Vince was still running things?
Yeah, but you know what though? Like I feel like the decision for I feel like there was a point in time where Vince was sitting in the office, like, I got two people I want to break new records. Like this is the end of his era, of Vince's era. Like he wants to break and shatter records. I get it. Like you want to set like the longest reigning modern day undisputed title run. Okay. And you want to also bring prestige back to the Intercontinental. So you want to do the longest reigning Intercontinental run. So I feel like a lot of these were like are long storylines that were just tied up. The Bloodline, for example, talk about a long storyline like that is still going. So I feel like a lot that Triple H hasn't had the opportunity. He could guide a lot of these stories, but I feel like a lot of these stories have been building for quite some time before it started before his time. So,
sure, and in regards to those, but what I'm saying is, I'm talking about just the actual stars themselves.
Yeah,
Triple H has showcased a lot of people who would have never gotten a chance with Vince, but he hasn't turned any of them into real stars yet. He hasn't built any of them up. He brought back a whole bunch of talent. He re-signed a whole bunch of people. And as we mentioned earlier, out of all those people that he's brought back and re-signed, the only one that seemed to develop into anything noteworthy has been Chelsea Green. And that's just on the strength of personality. Like, he's brought back Johnny Gargano. That hasn't turned into anything. Tommaso Ciampa. That hasn't really turned into much. They're now a tag team as DIY.
That's it.
But that's it. They're just a tag team. They're just another team. Like, there's no build-up. He's got Indy Hartwell and
Candice
LeRae there as a tag team, but again, just a tag team.
Yep.
There was a point
could have been in that group as well.
Right. I don't know if Dexter Lumis is just off TV from nothing to do with him or if he's out injured or what, but There was a point when they teased the prospect of the way being reformed. Nothing came about from that. And again, there's a list of people that Triple H has brought back and re-signed and done nothing with, but just have them there and they're just on television. Even recently with Xia Li, Xia Li got to be showcased, had a feud with Becky Lynch, had a match, lost. We ain't seen her since. So he's doing a whole lot of showcasing, but not a lot of building of anybody. He's just people that are just on TV and just there to be seen, but then nothing. And I feel like Triple H is maybe looking at him like, I'm gonna give you the chance, and now it's on you to make something of it. To which that's only partially true. You can give them the chance, and yes, to a certain extent, it is on the wrestler to get themselves over. But you as the booker, you as the creative person, you have to give the people a reason to give a shit about them. Because you can showcase people as much as you want. You can put them in all the matches that you want. If there's no reason for anybody to care about it, then nobody's going to react. Nobody's going to respond. And I think that has been one of Triple H's shortcomings is his storytelling still leaves quite a bit to be desired. And some of his booking still leaves quite a bit to be desired. There are opportunities there for compelling storylines to be told, but they're not being told. They're just people being put in situations without any kind of reason for them to be there or any reason for the audience to care about them being there. And I think that's if anything, I think that is Triple H's biggest shortcoming or his biggest flaw as a chief creative officer right now is giving the audience a reason to care about all the content, about all these stars he's showcasing outside of the people at the very top of the roster.
Yeah, I mean they have no, like, I understand they're putting them out there to get a reaction. You could tell that sometimes when they put them out there the first time, they're trying to see what the reaction is going to be from the crowd. You know what I mean? And a lot of times if you ain't getting the reaction that they think you're going to get, you know what I mean, you get put to the back burner, you know? So it's like, you know, I thought, you know, like you said with Xia Li, I thought they looked like they were about to give her a nice little push, trying to push her. But I think when it came down to it, it was like she wasn't getting the reaction they thought she was, you know, so they pushed her back a little bit.
Yeah, but how can she get the reaction if we don't have a reason to react to her? I mean,
know.
the only thing she was doing, she was a heel. She was getting booed, but outside of that, like, you can't expect people to have a reaction just off of being of one feature. Like, if you wanted people to react to her and really give a damn, she should have beaten Becky Lynch.
Right.
Then people would have had a reason to give a damn. Like, oh, she got, like, because the moment that she was put in that feud with Becky Lynch, everybody expected her to lose. That was everybody expected. And I know we talk about that sometimes people trying to subvert expectations too much to where it becomes meaningless. But there are some times where subverting expectations can be actually beneficial and serve a genuine purpose. And that would have been a prime case to do it. Somebody like Xia Li, who's been relegated to fucking main event for the longest, finally up on the main roster, taking people out, having an impact, at least enough to have people's attention to where it's like, okay, what's she going to do? Maybe I don't care yet, but at least I'm looking to see what's going to happen. She dropped Becky Lynch. She was on NXT, dropped some other girl, dropped a ref with a kick and shit. So when you finally get to the moment, to the payoff where Xia Li is facing Becky Lynch in a match, if all she does is just lose, then what? Then it's like, okay, well, she popped up, she got put down, she's right back to where she was. There's no growth, there's no buildup, there's nothing, no reason for anybody to give a damn about her anymore. Whereas had she pulled off the upset and got a win over Becky Lynch, even if it wound up that Becky got another rematch and wound up winning, just the fact that she got a win over Becky Lynch, just the fact that she did enough to warrant a multi-match feud with Becky Lynch and by beating her, that's enough of a reason for people to give a damn about Xia Li next time they see her. Because they be like, oh, that's the chick that beat Becky Lynch in that match. She's somebody that we should actually pay attention to now. As opposed to where she's at now, it's like, she showed up, she got put down by Becky Lynch. Okay, right back to main event with you.
Okay, but when you gotta think this too, though. You gotta think this too. I understand that too, and they could do that with a lot of people. And but the thing is, when you look at certain people, right? Look at Xia Li. Do you think about it? Do you see her as if she gets the women's title, right? Where do you see her going from there? Like as a character, or as even as with charisma wise, where do you see her as a champion when you got somebody? Then look at an Asian person. Look at somebody like Asuka, and look what Asuka does when she gets the title, and how she gets the crowd involved and all that other good stuff. Even whether she's good or bad, you could put it on her arms and she's going to run with it.
Yes, that charisma.
Okay, but I think you're jumping too far ahead by talking about Xia Li as a champion. Like you can't. Nobody's thinking about Xia Li as a champion. You got to make people just give a damn about her in the first place. Like they haven't even hit the first step with Xia Li before you can even broach or even think about seeing her as a champion. You just got to make people give a damn about seeing her in the ring, and that's what the feud with Becky Lynch was supposed to have done for her, but it didn't.
No, I understand that, but listen, I'm just saying. You can't tell me that they're not looking at anybody ahead of time. You have to look at these people as, are they championship material? You have to look at them like that. You have to look if they're marketable, or if they could, or how far they could go with the title. Because some people get the title and then they lose it in a short amount of time. But I think that they look at stuff like that. Now they do all this stuff. They see how people. That's why when they do live shows, they see how certain matches are going to outcome or how people are going to react to them. It's all about reaction. But I'm just saying, like, when you look at certain people, I could say a ton of people that's there right now who I don't think they probably even going to make it. Like, I know a lot of people like Grayson Waller. I like Grayson Waller. He's like whatever, but I don't see him like everybody else sees him. You know what I mean? Like,
but you can't deny that he has a presence. He has a ring presence. I think I've talked about him plenty of times. I thought his ring attire and I think his interest, his in-ring stuff is where he's lacking. But as a character, he has it. As a character,
he does have presence. See what I'm saying? You see that he has presence, though. You know what I mean? That you see that in him. That's what they see too. You know what I mean? It's like y'all seen. It's like you see certain people and you just feel it from them. Some people they might not feel it. We don't. For all we know, Becky Lynch probably said she ain't want to get put what's her name over. I don't know. I don't know how that goes with some of them. But we know back in the day, a lot of them that was on top had to say if they wanted somebody to go over them or not. She let the NXT champion go over on her. I think that was a whole she's Irish, I'm Irish type of putting her over type of thing. I'm pretty sure that. But all I'm saying is we never know what's behind those things, because we know that even Cena had people he didn't want to put over. You know, when he was champion, or when things was going, when he was going good, or whatever. There was times he didn't want to put people over because he thought they weren't ready, or they weren't this. He's seen that Austin Theory wasn't ready, and look where he's at now. And he beat John Cena. They let him go over. You know what I mean? They was pushing him, but when the crowd don't like you, they don't like you. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't mean like just from being a heel. They literally just don't like his character. So it's like it's hard, and then you got to go back to the drawing board, reinvent yourself. You know what I mean? Even Seth had to reinvent himself because he started to go stale a little bit, and he had to get back to it. And see, and he did that. Like, some people just have to take it upon themselves to try to get themselves to the point where they want to be great. And I don't know, like, I feel like when it comes to Triple H, he has a little more of a understanding and an opening for stuff like that, because, you know, I think that he's giving people chances. I think he's giving the chances, but they have to at some point prove it, or they have to make themselves likable in a way.
Sure, that's part of it, but part of it is also his booking. They can't prove something if they're not giving a chance to, and just putting them in a match and just say, here, go on TV and make yourself a star in a match that nobody gives a shit about. That's not really going to work. That's only going to work for a small handful of people who just inherently have that it factor. But not every star, or not everybody who ever becomes a star came about it that way. Not everybody who ever became a top star was, you didn't always see it from everybody from day one. Like, nobody looked at stunning Steve Austin and thought that Stone Cold was possible. He was doing fine as stunning Steve Austin. Yeah, he was a fine enough wrestler, but did anybody look at that and think that Stone Cold was possible? No. Did anybody look at Mean Mark Callis in WCW and think that The Undertaker was possible? No. So at some point, you as a booker, you as the person creating the storylines and telling the stories, have to give the people a reason to give a shit about somebody. And it's not just put them out there on TV and just expect the audience to tell you whether this person is it or not. Some of it, it's both sides of it. Some of it is on the wrestler, yes, to get themselves over, but it's also on the booker to put them in the position to get themselves over, to give people a reason to give a shit about them. Like Rocky Maivia, you didn't see The Rock from Rocky Maivia. They were putting him out on TV. Yes, they were pushing him, and then people turned on him, and they could have just dropped it there. Like, oh damn, people don't like him. Well, I guess he ain't it. Bye. Get the fuck out of here. And his career could have been over. But they didn't. They put him in a position to get himself over. They put him in a position to give people a reason to give a damn about him by putting him with the nation. And that's what I'm saying. That's the part that I'm saying that Triple H is lacking in, the part that he's falling short in, is putting these people in a position for the audience to give a damn about them, to give them a reason to react to them. That's what he's not doing. It's not just all on the wrestler. Like, all right, I'm in this match for no reason, but I hope y'all see championship material in me in this, showcase of wrestling ability without any storyline to it. Like, he's got to do his end too. And that's what I'm saying that he's not doing yet.
Well, bro, how many promos and backstories has Xia Li had ever since, even when she was in NXT? She's had more TV time than a lot of people. You know what I mean? Like, she's had more TV time. She reinvented herself. They've been trying to do different things with her. I mean, I think it's more easier said than done to just try to find a unique character.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's easy.
It's not. It's hard, especially when you got all these other talents that you're trying, and plus the new talent is there. You know what I mean? I just think you gotta give them the benefit of the doubt that it's like, it's hard. I think it's hard to come up with a good character for people that people are gonna love on that person. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm just saying that he has to do something with somebody. He's got all this talent. It's not just, I mean, we're mentioning Xia Li, but it's not just Xia Li. Again, DIY. They're just there. Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae, just there. Dexter Loomis, just there. Like, out of he's brought back all these people that he's re-signed and people that were just spinning wheels on the roster. A bunch of them, not a single one of them has really been elevated. And I don't think that they're all just that mediocre or that they're all just that mid. People seem to have loved Johnny Gargano. These are some of the wrestlers that people were wanting to see, that the fans were wanting to see happen. Fans wanted the way. They teased it and then never did anything with it. Fans wanted to see Johnny Gargano be something. He had a bit of a hype when he finally debuted or came back on the main roster. He had a bit of a pop, but then they did nothing with it. They're doing the same thing now with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. They're there. There's clearly a reaction. There's clearly something there, but they're not doing anything with it. They're not booking it right. That's where he's falling short. Even when he does seem to have the moment or seem to have the opportunity to build something, he's not really capitalizing on it as well as I think he could be.
Well,
guys. Yeah. I think we spent enough time talking about Xia Li. You know what? To wrap up the show, I'm going to ask both of you guys a question. And I thought about it long and hard. I spent most of my day thinking about it, and it's a would you rather type question. Okay. So this goes for both of you. Dave, I don't know how much oxygen you have left in that car. Dude, is the windows really foggy right now? We've been podcasting for almost 2 hours now, so I assume it's super foggy. So you could write PCW on all the windows. Okay, guys, would you rather give Vince McMahon a sponge bath once a week, or would you rather? There's two more. Give Jim Ross, good old JR, a foot massage once a week, or once a week. It's very random. You don't know when, you don't know where, and you don't know who, but a WWE professional wrestler will come out of nowhere and give you their finisher.
I'm taking finishers.
And it happens once a week. And here's the thing: is the Vince thing, the Jim Ross thing, you have to do them until they die, and the finisher, you have to do it for at least the next 20 years.
Finishers, still no hesitation. Finishers. I'm not touching that. I ain't touching neither one of them little wrinkly old fat fucks.
Yo.
Yeah, I'll take the finisher. Maybe you'll, at least when you're taking those finishers, maybe you can put a name out there for yourself. Maybe you'll get on like some talk show or something and make some money. You ain't gonna make no money.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought about it. I was like, I think I'd take a finisher. I was like, I would randomly take an RKO or a super kick once a week. It was just funny. You just think about you're in the grocery store, you just turn the corner, you just picked up, I don't know, like a box of cereal, and Shawn Michaels just like super kicks you out of nowhere, and the box of cereal just goes flying. Or it reminded me of that, recently, I posted in that Discord the match with Booker T and Stone Cold Steve Austin in the grocery store. It made me too. Like Stone Cold just comes out of nowhere and starts beating the shit out of you, and like pours milk on you, and like like you're at the bank and you're just standing in line. Then the fucking Undertaker, you just hear the gong, and he just comes out of nowhere and just choke slams you in the middle of the bank. Oh man. You're at Walmart in line. You're just holding your groceries. You just mind your own fucking business. You're like, I'm gonna go to the checkout. I'm gonna go check it out myself. I'm gonna wait in line. I'm gonna bag it all myself. I'm gonna have a good day. I'll go home. I'm gonna eat this pie I just got, and then boom, Drew McIntyre just claymores your ass out of nowhere. Just fucking pie goes flying. Oh, why? Just
sure.
Anybody.
One time it might be Drew McIntyre giving you the claymore, but another time it could be Trish Stratus giving you Stratisfaction.
Ah, God, yes.
That's true. Yeah, I'll take a spot for that. Whatever.
Yeah, I'll take my chances with that any day of the week before I'm touching Vince McMahon or Jim Ross.
You ain't lying, man. I'm down with that. Fuck that, bro. I ain't touching either one of them motherfuckers.
Oh my God, I think next episode I'm gonna come up with another Would You Rather. I think I'm just gonna do one every episode because I got a bunch of these. Oh man, these are funny as shit, and I just write them down. But yeah, like I was thinking because I want to add more shirts. I think Doyle needs his own shirt. I think Doyle. We'll think of it. He the man's got his own catchphrases now. Let's slap it on a T-shirt for him because we're going to WrestleMania and we're all gonna be wearing PCW shirts of some kind. So I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited to get my stuff
Philly
in.
in April is probably gonna be a PCW hoodie.
Oh, dude, yeah, I want to know how we can get hoodies or beanies or some shit. Like,
You
I
can
know we
choose that
can.
on the web. Well,
Can you?
well no, I say back on the website you can choose the different style of shirt and you can choose
Yeah.
long sleeve shirt. But I know
Yeah.
there is an option for hoodies on that.
Yeah, I gotta
website.
figure that out because I want a hoodie. Like, I know I'm gonna be freezing.
Yeah,
So, oh, man, I'll pay whatever money it is. So, yeah. Dave, dude, it's been a while that you've been on here. I'm glad you came. Hopefully we have you on another episode and you're not inside a car, maybe an elevator next time, or maybe a hot dog stand, a porta potty, a sun-baked porta john. I'm thinking of a bunch of other random places that you could be. A parking garage. Ooh, standing in the middle of a ice ring arena.
Maybe I'll be in that.
Maybe some good acoustics in a church, perhaps. But yeah, dude. Yeah, you got to get back on Discord. You know, you haven't been part of the conversation in like months. You used to be on Discord all the time, man. Like chiming in with your whatnots.
Yeah, we always good having you here on the pod. We always have good debates every time you're on.
Oh yeah, dude. I know when I get you guys together, you guys debate like a motherfucker. So I don't know if Dave's going with us to WrestleMania or not, but like if not, Dave, like I gotta get all of us together. Considering Dave lives like 5-10 minutes from me, like up the road. So yeah, we all gotta get together around WrestleMania time, especially for a big podcast picture, you know.
I've been trying to see if somebody's trying to sell their tickets, like on StubHub or something like that.
Yeah, well, like talk to. I know, like we'll probably talk more about this off air, but reach Doyle. Doyle's the man to talk to. He's our booker. He's our agent. You know, reach out to that man. See what he can do. I don't know what magic he has, but he's the guy to talk to, or at least tell you where we're sitting. Because honestly, I don't remember where the hell we're sitting. I don't. All I know is it's being handled. It's handing over the cash. You know.
Well, I mean, we've got the tickets.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
yeah.
I think the section was like 1,001 or something like that. I would have to scroll back up in the chat to see where it is, but
at this point, like I don't care where I sit. I'm gonna have a good fucking time. It's gonna be great. I know, like we're getting closer and closer, and I'm getting so excited because, dude, like a few weeks ago, I had no idea that I'd be going to WrestleMania and the possibility of seeing CM Punk there. Like, holy shit! Like that just blew my mind. Like, so I'm just excited for all the singing and the screaming. Like, I'm gonna lose my voice for sure, damn sure. But yeah, Dave, do you want to plug anything? You know, like maybe your Discord or how people can get a hold of you, and if you know they want to chit chat with you. So, okay then. Dre, do you have anything you want to plug for the show?
Nothing at the moment. I mean, y'all, as always, y'all can always find me in the PCW Discord, and like I said, I'm there usually every Monday, Friday, and PLE sharing my thoughts live and in real time. If any of you are PCL Patreon subscribers, you might find me on a couple of upcoming PCL Patreon, some of their content coming up. I think I just did one recently, and I'm doing another one this upcoming week. And also, for those of you who follow our good buddy Carlos's show, Revisiting the Mania, I will be on his upcoming episode covering WrestleMania 18.
Oh, dude, I'm on for WrestleMania 19. I was like, dude, 19 and on, I am your man. I lived those years. That was like prime wrestling years for me. Like, I will give you stories, my friend, stories. I'm like, bring me on. So, yeah, I'm really excited about knocking out that with him.
Yeah. 18 kind of came through as a blessing because that was the one I originally wanted to do, but he had somebody booked for that. So then I was going to do WrestleMania 17 with him because somebody, I guess, the guy he had for 17 fell out. But then they kind of flipped, and the person for 17 is able to make it, and the person from 18 fell out. So
Dude, but
now I'm coming on for 18.
18's a good one.
Hell yeah, Rock Hogan.
Yes, for 18. He said it was taken. I was like, damn. I was like, that's where I would have liked to have started. Because dude, so much good shit happens at 18. So yeah, I'm excited to listen to that episode too. Yeah, you can find me anywhere as Semi Dry Chicken. Find me at the Discord. We have merch on Pro Wrestling Tees. Leave some reviews for us on our website. At Podium, Podcast Championship Wrestling at podium.com. Reviews, and even if you want to answer, write in some questions, and we'll read them out in the show. Even our ratings, we'll read them out. So, I mean, that's it, guys. I want to, SmackDown's over. I'm just gonna figure out what happens. But yeah,
Carmelo Hayes won his match. I'm happy for that.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you later.
Later.
You are the world's dumbest son of a bitch.
The fact that day in and day out for almost 6 years I have proved to everybody in the world that I am the best on this microphone, in that ring, even at commentary. Nobody can touch me.
You are not ready for Oscar!
Because the Street Profits are up and we want the smoke.
You're next! Talk about your Psalms, talk about John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says I just whipped your ass.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. Barack Lesnar! New Day!
The cream will rise to the top. Oh yeah, Macho Madness, yes.
Welcome to the Kevin Owens Show.
Lately, he just hasn't been very oozy.
Because I'm the Miz, and I'm awesome. Those rotten bastards.
Bye-bye, bitch.